Hello, my name is Nawa-ish, and welcome back to Illustrator Plays Minecraft. Today, we're gonna go on an adventure to find resin, because we're gonna need that for future world building purposes. And to make it a bit more interesting, we're also gonna be doing a Q&A. Thank you so much to everyone who submitted a question. And while we're out and about, we're also gonna do something that I've been wanting to try for a little bit now, which is painting en plein air in Minecraft. Plein air painting is when you go and paint outdoors in nature, using the world around you as reference. So if we come across some nice world generation, I want to stop and take my time to paint it. I think it'll be a nice break from all this base work we've been doing for the last few episodes. I should also mention that I took the time to enchant my tools and my boots that I lost last episode. I also finally got Silk Touch on my shovel, which is nice. Now let's start getting ready to go on that adventure. We can prepare all the regular stuff like food and tools. It's gonna be a bit cheesy, but I want to prepare something else. Just gotta grab these flowers, do this. This isn't a lever, this is definitely a paintbrush. A pressure plate? Nope, it's a paint palette now. And these dyes are now most definitely paint. Yep. Put them in my little bundle of art supplies. We're also going to be taking a book with us filled with the questions that you guys asked me. Is this good use of my limited inventory space? Most definitely not. But it adds to the immersion. Alright, we are all ready to go. We're gonna go through the Nether for a bit. That way we can get past all the chunks that I've already explored. And I made some lodestones and compasses so I can keep track of the portals. So I guess it's time to start going. Let's put down a lodestone here, just so I don't get lost in the Nether. And let's head out this way. Wait, is that a bastion? I think I'll come back to this later. While we're in the Nether, let's do our first question. Did you think a bit about a story of the Nether, like you did with the overworld? In terms of the lore in your world, with the bits and pieces of land becoming broken and turned into floating shards, did the other realms like the Nether and the End suffer the same effects of the calamity? No solid ideas yet. Though I will say that I don't think that the catastrophe has physically affected the dimensions. In my mind, the other dimensions are kind of a new discovery in this world, so I think there's a lot of story potential there. I think I'm running around in circles in here. Oh, made it out, finally. I don't think I'm that far away from my home portal, but I think this'll be enough of a distance. So let's see where this takes us. Oh, it's nighttime, that's not good. I'm not too sure if we'll be coming back to this portal, but let's set a lodestone compass just in case. Before I get going, I want to apologize in advance for any stuttery footage that you might see. My computer can't really handle recording and generating chunks at the same time. But I'll try to take things slow, so hopefully it won't be too bad. So this one isn't a question that was for the Q&A, but it did make me chuckle, so I decided to add it here anyways. It definitely wasn't worded this way, but it was kinda like, what's wrong with your face? Which is a very fair question. So I was making the skin for this series, and I tried to make it with the usual eye placements, but it always felt off. Until I put them where they are now. At first I didn't know why it looked better, but then I remember that for years before this, my skin was this buff, muscular guy with a chicken head, with the eyes right where they are now. So I guess I'm kind of part chicken? So next question. How did you come up with your username? Is there a story behind it? So Nawa is a shortened version of a username that I used to use, so it just kind of felt natural to pick that. But because it's not the original username and it's a shortened version, it's Nawa-ish. Ooh, this might be a good spot. Not the most spectacular view, but I do like the shape of the hills. I'm gonna go up on this tree for a better view. Yeah, I like it. Let's take out our art bundle, set up the easel, and our pale oak canvas. The illusion kind of breaks when you see it from the side, but it's fine. I have my paints out now, and my palette and brush is ready to go. Let's try this out. While I get started, I just want to say that I don't really have a lot of experience with digital painting and rendering like this, so I'm not sure how this is gonna turn out. But hopefully I get warmed up and I get a bit better as we keep painting. Alright, on to the questions. What's your art background? Did you fall in love with making art early on, or only recently? How long have you been drawing/illustrating for? I have been drawing and creating things for as long as I can remember. As a quick introduction to me and my art background, I should mention that my parents are Japanese, but I was born and raised here in Canada. So I grew up watching a lot of anime and reading manga. There was lots of Ghibli and Miyazaki Hayao adjacent stuff, so all that really inspired me to keep drawing. And I would always come up with stories and draw art and comics for them, which I think kind of relates back to this Minecraft series, because I've always enjoyed the world building aspect of creating stories. Did you have any direct personal artist influences, like an artistic family member, friend, or influential teacher? Nothing stood out to me at first, but I do want to say that seeing my older sister draw when I was little made me want to draw too, and she was usually the one to introduce me to new manga series that I would end up obsessing about. Did you study professionally, or are you self-taught? I guess it's a bit of both. Growing up, I taught myself how to draw, both traditionally and digitally, but I did eventually go to a school for a degree in illustration. But there wasn't too much about art fundamentals. It was more like trying out different art mediums, coming up with illustration concepts, stuff like that. Which leads me to, what job are you working on other than YouTube? I am a freelance illustrator. I originally started off with doing editorial illustrations, which are conceptual illustrations that you'll see beside magazines and newspaper articles. But for the past few years, I've been very fortunate to be illustrating children's picture books. Does it limit your time to play and make videos? Unfortunately, yes. It's been a bit of a struggle to juggle everything, but funnily enough, when I first decided to start making these videos, I was in a bit of a lull with my work and I didn't have any new projects coming in. So I had some extra time and thought I would start this channel. But, of course, as life would have it, right as the first episode was about to go up, I got approached to work on multiple new projects, which is amazing, don't get me wrong, but it did make me a tiny bit sad that I wasn't gonna have as much time as I'd hoped to work on these videos. So this is the first painting. It turned out okay. As always, my color choice could use some work. I'm definitely a bit better at mixing colors in real life versus digitally. It would be cool if we do this again, but with traditional painting. I would have to figure out how the cameras would work and everything, but it might be kinda cool. So let's get going again. Wait a minute. Ooh boy, I've been in this area before. This is the swamp near my base. I think I've been heading towards spawn instead of going away from it. Oops. Alright, let's turn around. Next question. I understand Minecraft videos, especially building content, takes a lot of time to make. So how do you balance planning, drawing, building, filming videos, while also doing all that's needed for your professional work? And how much free time do you end up with? Keeping a tight schedule really helps, which seems simple, but it's definitely a skill that I needed to build up over time. Both freelancing and content creation is kinda similar because you don't really have a boss to report to, so you need to really hold yourself accountable, or else you start falling behind. Now that I've been doing this thing for a little bit now, I feel like I have a general feel for when something needs to be done. It'll be like, I need to be done drawing or recording by this day so I can focus on this illustration and be done by that day. It's definitely not the most streamlined thing at the moment, and hopefully as I keep making more videos, it'll get easier and easier with time. So I guess that's just kind of my roundabout way to say that I don't really have that much free time at the moment. Are you gonna connect to other social media? Yes, but I am terrible when it comes to posting on social media. So that's something I want to work on. On Instagram, I'm hoping to post art that I've made for the series. And then on Twitter, X, and Blue Sky, it would be more like the behind the scenes stuff. So if that sounds interesting, feel free to give them a follow. How much time does it take you to draw something? It really varies. Sometimes I could finish everything in one sitting, so maybe like an hour or two, but other times it is a struggle, and it takes me multiple tries to get something to look right. Usually the drawing of the concepts and the line art doesn't take too long, but like I mentioned before, I'm not really good at coloring. So there have been episodes where I had to go back and recolor the same thing over and over and over again. Oh, I really like this spot. With the little cherry trees there, and this big mountain. I think this is going to be the next painting spot. So let's get set up. Do you have a software and hardware list? What do you draw with? What editing software are you using? For making these videos, it's nothing really fancy. I use OBS for recording and Davinci Resolve for editing. As for what I draw with, I'm using a Wacom Cintiq, which is a display tablet that you can plug into your computer. And as for programs, I'm using Clip Studio Paint, the EX version, and a bit of Photoshop, mostly for the parts in the video when I'm planning things out on top of a screenshot. Will you ever use shaders or just some packs that will improve quality of life? Shaders do look really nice, but I think I'm gonna stick with the vanilla look for now. Though once my computer can handle it, I might want to try turning on shaders once in a while just to see what things look like. I also really want to add something like the Distant Horizons mod. I actually tried to make it work for this episode, but it was way too laggy. As for datapacks, I am just kind of adding them on whenever I need them. Like for example, I recently added the one that stops Enderman griefing. Any plans for other series, like Skyblock, Modded, etc.? Maybe. I've only ever played vanilla, so it might be fun to branch out. Let me know if there's a particular one that you might want to see me try. Will you do more than just Minecraft videos one day? On this channel specifically, probably not. I'll be sticking to Minecraft here, but I am open to playing other games. It would go on a separate channel, I think, or maybe if I eventually decide to live stream, it could be on there. Would you ever consider joining an SMP? Potentially in the future? It would be nice to be able to play with other people eventually, but for now I feel like I'm still trying to find my way with this whole video making thing. And with my work schedule being the way it is and chaotic and kind of busy, I don't think I'm really ready to be in an SMP yet, so I'm happy to just kind of muck around in single player for now. And here's a second painting. I'm kind of getting the hang of this. I like what I did with the mountain here especially. Alright, let's pack up and keep going. Are you going to release a world download? Eventually, yes. Right now, I don't think there's enough stuff in the world yet. I build super slow, so I'm gonna wait until things are a bit more built up. And of course, I'll let you guys know when it happens. Outside of illustration, are there any other hobbies you are into? I have this bad habit of collecting hobbies. I would get really interested in something and spend a questionable amount of time researching it, and then it's kind of a toss-up if I actually do start the thing or not. About 2 years ago, I started knitting. I'm actually in the middle of knitting a sweater, and YouTube kind of took over my life, so that's kind of on hold. I do also like bookbinding. I like sewing my own sketchbooks. And of course there's all these art things that I'm not sure I would consider hobbies. Like, I like watercoloring. I do want to start oil painting one day, but I don't really have the space for it. And I was also just kind of getting into printmaking, especially block printing, the type where you carve into linoleum. So I guess you might say that I have a hobby of researching and collecting hobbies. Do you have any pets? If not, would you like to have one? What would it be? Sadly, no pets. Though I really miss having a cat. I just don't think we have enough space at the moment. There was also this time when I was really into snakes, so maybe in the future I would want to get one. I've also heard a lot of nice things about pet rats. Ooh, dark oak forest, that's a good sign. Let's go through it and see if we come across a pale garden. Ooh, ooh! Oh, I found one! Oh, there's another one! I didn't think I'd actually find one this easily. I swear I didn't look up my seed or anything like that. Let's make our way up. Ooh, flowers, I'll take some of these. Wait, there's a path here. Ooh, look at this. There's a village here. Interesting. Let's paint before we go hunt for resin. I kind of like this view. I'm on top of a house right now, with the cliff over there with a little tree and the pale garden to the left. We're in a village, so let's do this question. Are you planning on building some sort of village in the future? I'd love to see how your building style would translate to that, especially with the lore being woven in. Most definitely. There's a village pretty close to my base area, so I'm planning on building that one up first. It'll have the village breeder and the trading hall and all the other villagey things. There's even already a backstory ready for it, so I'm excited to start working on it soon. How do you stay motivated after making such pretty builds, even after dying? Oh, thank you so much. One thing that keeps me motivated are these videos. If I was just playing for myself, I think I would have taken a long break after the death last episode. But knowing that you guys are here and watching, it's a pretty great motivator. Another thing is having ideas in my head for future things that I want to build. There's so much that I want to do. Which Minecraft builders do you feel have inspired your style? Are there any specific builders that you get your inspiration/ideas from? So I've consumed a lot of Minecraft content over the past few years, mostly Hermitcraft, which probably does not surprise anyone. And I've just kind of absorbed all the building techniques and knowledge over time, so it's really hard to pinpoint anyone specifically. But I will say BOO was probably the catalyst that made me start thinking about using blocks in a different way. What kind of build tips would you give someone like me who is always looking to get better at colors and building? How did you get so good at building in Minecraft? First of all, thank you very much. Though I still have a long way to go until I would categorize myself as good. It might be too obvious coming from me, but I would say try adding art to your building process. I really think it's helped me get better. Every time I start sketching ideas for a new build, I end up with something far more interesting than what I originally had in my mind. I also recommend this channel called The Loosest of Gooses. He has these great videos about color theory and design in Minecraft. He's also done some interviews with other builders, and it really opened my eyes to all these cool building techniques people are using in Minecraft. So here's a third painting. I think the composition would have looked a bit better like this, but it's alright. I accidentally went to sleep. Oops. Guess we'll have to wait again until sunset. Hello? Creaking? Anywhere? Wait, I don't like that. Oh man, that's very ominous. Let's try punching it. So it's over there. Ah. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm just, oh, there's another one. Oh! Ah! No, zombie! Ah! Excuse me. Oh, I can shoot arrows at it. Okay, that's enough for me. Goodbye. Oh, oh no, I'm sorry. Alright, I'm gonna start heading home, but I'm gonna try to take a different path. Ooh, iron. I should really make an iron farm. Back to questions. Could we do our own Illustrator Plays Minecraft videos? Yeah, of course. This concept of drawing before building isn't my original idea. It was inspired by Mumbo Jumbo in his current Hermitcraft season. I knew beforehand that people would make builds using references from photographs or from artworks, but when I saw Mumbo doing his own drawings, it was like a light bulb moment for me. I'd love to see more people use art in their Minecraft gameplay. What is your favorite restaurant cuisine? I'm pretty bad at choosing favorites, but I'd have to go with either Chinese dim sum or Vietnamese pho. What's your favorite thing about building? Apart from the feeling of satisfaction when a build comes together, it might be when I'm coming up with block palettes. What is your favorite thing to draw? That's gotta be hair. Nice, long, flowy hair. Ooh, a woodland mansion? I don't think I'm gonna go in this today. So I have a compass out and we're just heading towards spawn now. Ooh, Mushroom Island. I feel like this is the one I've been to before. Wow, these are a lot of mushroom. There's like multiple islands around here. This one is silly, but if you could have any superpower, what would it be and why? The easiest answer would be teleportation. I'd love to be able to just zip around the world, but if I had to choose a more unconventional power, I would go with plant manipulation. I've always wanted to be more of a green thumb. And if we're thinking more about how the powers might work, I imagine you can only use the power if you have enough energy stored up from staying out in the sun. Which would be bad because I am terrible when it comes to sun exposure. Every summer I get sunburned and itchy and it's not a great time. So I would only be able to use the power really sparingly. But once in a while, if I'm out on a walk and I find a plant that's not doing too well, maybe I can help it thrive a tiny bit. I've put way too much thought into this question. What unconventional superpower would you guys choose? Ooh, outpost. Nice. Yeah, that mountain looks familiar. I've definitely been here before. Excuse me, don't mind me. Yeah, I remember this tree. And I found the dark oak forest over there. Let's do another painting. Maybe over here? I'm gonna do something slightly different and paint this one at sunset. Where do the bandits come from? Do they have a base nearby? And do they consider the old tower their property? I know that the pillager patrols are programmed to spawn after a certain amount of time, but they really have a knack for finding me every episode. Maybe my base is on the way to somewhere where they need to go. I don't think that they have any connection to the old tower at my base, but it's interesting to think more about who these guys are. Like, are they all part of a faction with a singular goal? Or are they more like individual bandit crews who are just kinda going around and pillaging? I'll have to think about it as the series progresses. Where do you place yourself among the world and the story you create? This one is interesting because this is something I've thought about here and there. When I'm coming up with the concepts for builds, I'm speaking as if these builds were always here and I just happened to come across them in my travels. But I'm clearly making these builds from scratch, so I'm not sure how it all fits. I guess we'll just say that I'm an outside observer and not an active participant or character in what's happening in the world. Can we expect to see an overarching tale in the series that will tie everything together? Or are you planning on making up small stories for every build/area as you go, with no connections? The first option gives structure, the second one gives more freedom, in my opinion. Smiley face. At this point in time, I'm thinking it'll be an overarching story for the entire series. But the focus of the story is the whole history of the catastrophe, like showing what the world was like before it all happened and how it is now afterwards, all through environmental storytelling. But I do also want to try to have smaller stories within it too, with the catastrophe just kind of being a backdrop. I hope that makes sense. And I think that'll be the last painting for today. Definitely want to do this again, hopefully with the Distant Horizons mod next time, and a less laggy computer. So I'll bring you back once I'm home. And we're back. My inventory is a mess. So let's do this one last question while I put everything away. How do you organize your storage? The answer is very messily. I forgot how many new blocks were added since I last played, so I didn't leave myself enough space for chests. But generally, these rows are all the wood, and then we have the leaves and the saplings, and these rows are for the stone things, and some of them are organized in questionable categories, like I have a chest here for ground-like blocks, and in the windowsills it's vegetation stuff, and under all the other windows there are also barrels. We have foods, and mob drops. And down here is the overflow chests. It's all a mess. So that should be it. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who asked a question. I really hope I didn't miss any. Let's keep this book here. That's a burning zombie. Anyways, I'm so happy that we got the resin today. And we can block it up like this. And if we put resin clumps on the wall, this sorta looks like a new kind of ore, right? Intriguing. Maybe a hint at what's to come. This video ended up a lot longer than I expected, so thanks for watching it till the end. And I hope to see you soon. Bye!